Hey everybody. Well, today is the first day, the first attempt that I'm going to make for Mead, and Mead is a honey-based alcoholic beverage, one of the oldest fermented beverages known to man. And I just wanted to go over with you, not only to just kind of let you go through a step-by-step process of what's going on with me. I want to document it for myself in case something goes horribly wrong, or in case something turns out really well. I want to go back and see what the heck just happened, so I can replicate it or fix it as the case may be. So I'm going to go over the ingredients that I'm going to use, and I'm going to make this a multi-step process here, because I imagine the actual time it's going to take to make this is going to take a little bit of effort, maybe 30 minutes to an hour in preparation of the ingredients and all of that. And I don't want to draw that out, even though I can make longer videos than 10 minutes now. I think I'm going to make several, and since I'm making two batches that are going to be similar, I really don't think I'm going to take a video of that. I might tack some pictures on at the end of the last process of this one, just so you can kind of see what that looks like. Wearing my adult beverage shirt, bowling shirt today. It's got the olives, the martini glasses, the vermouth. Thought that was kind of appropriate for all of this. All right, so first things first. Let me go over the ingredients. This is a mead that is got limes in it. It's got mint in it, and it's going to be a chocolate mint, because that's what I grew last year, was chocolate mint. And I've had actually limes and mint together before in candies. Mostly chocolates around Christmas time. You know, you get those oranges that you can smash on the counter, and they break into chocolate sections. They have those for limes too. That's really tasty. Some white chocolate key lime cheesecakes. So I think this will be a good flavor. Ingredients right here. Number one ingredient is spring water. Now, I'm not going to use water from my tap, although you can. I'm kind of worried about the flavor with chlorine and some of the other things that they put in it, like fluoride and things like that. If you have a good water filter at home, go ahead and use water from your house if you like. This was only 90 cents per gallon. It's the store brand of spring water. If you do use your house water, use water that you've let set out overnight or for a whole day, just so the chlorine kind of dissipates. And I wouldn't use distilled water. Distilled water tastes funny to me. And don't use necessarily, unless you really want to, some of the name brands like Aquafina and Dasani. I saw them at the store. They're more expensive, and they also have added a little bit of salt and minerals to those, which I'm not looking for. I'm just looking for plain distilled water. So I've got a gallon of that. I have got 3 pounds of honey. So I've got 2 pure clover store brand grade A honey, pound and a half each, so that's going to equal 3 pounds. As I said in the past, I am going to be doing this as an experiment for now. Once I get to the point where I'm comfortable with my technique and I'm comfortable with how things are going, then I am going to start using more exotic honeys, like the orange blossom honeys and the macadamia nut honeys. Just for note, this honey, I bought 6 pounds since I'm making 2 batches. This honey cost me $1 more for 6 pounds going to my local store than it would have buying direct from a farm on eBay with shipping. So I think I'm going to be doing a lot more online buying, and also going to some of the local, like, farmers markets, and there's a local produce market here in town that sells nothing but produce, grain products, no meats or anything like that, but they do have honeys, they do have juices, so I'm probably going to go with them. Go with a honey that you like. Go with a honey that you're familiar with. If you're not familiar with honey, just make sure that it says pure honey and not honey sauce. Don't go to Kentucky Fried Chicken, KFC, and collect their honey sauce packets that you would normally get for biscuits, because that isn't just honey. It's a mixture of honey and corn syrup and other chemicals, and you don't want to be using that. And plus, you don't want to be opening 3 pounds of those packets anyway. But you know, sometimes in the stores they have honey sauce or some of the very discounted stuff is mixed with corn syrup, and this is not. It says pure honey, grade A clover honey. So that's what I'm using. Since I'm putting limes in this, this recipe calls for key limes, which taste slightly different than regular limes, but trying to find a key lime in Kansas in September or October is not really possible. I tried 2 stores yesterday, and the only thing I was able to find were small, regular limes, not key limes. So these were 4 for $1. Not too bad of a price. I'm going to rinse these off just to make sure there aren't any chemicals on the outside. I'm not going to do anything special like baking soda. You can use that to fruit wash. I'm just going to rinse them and scrub them with just water for a little bit. That way I'm sure that, fairly sure that there's not going to be any residue of baking soda, and there's not going to be any chemicals on there. Chocolate mint. I do have a couple of leaves of chocolate mint outside this year, but the garden, as I said in a previous video, we had over 50 days of 100-degree temperatures in my city. The garden did not do well, and if you can kill mint and make it not survive, then you know things are pretty bad. So this is mint that I had from last year, and I grew orange mint, chocolate mint, pineapple mint, spearmint, peppermint, catnip. Don't make anything with catnip except for tea. Catnip tea is awesome. Catnip mead would be horrible. It would taste like a skunk probably. This is dried. I imagine this dried amount would be equal about the same amount of fresh that I would be needing. So I'm just going to add all of this. Right now, let's see, this was harvested August 5th of 2010. Right now I use this to make tea. Either I make the tea like Earl Grey, something like that, and then I put this in a little diffuser thing and stir it around to add the chocolate mint flavor, or I'll just do that in hot water and drink the tea. It's really tasty. I know the flavor's good. Next is the Lavalin D47 yeast. This I've decided to use for the lime one. It's the one I'm most excited about, and the second mead will be a cranberry grape juice combination of mead. I want to use the champagne yeast on that. It's going to be a little bit drier, but I think because it's going to have some of the grape component into it, I think it's going to be able to handle that a little bit better. So this was made in Denmark. It is a wine yeast, again Lavalin D47, recommended highly for meads. I'm going to use that, and to feed the mead. Now there's going to be honey and fruit in here, but I've seen a lot of people put yeast nutrient and yeast boosters in, sometimes both, in their meads. A lot of time when I see people do this though, they're doing the 5-gallon jars. I'm only doing a 1-gallon jar this time, and to be on the safe side though, I'm going to be putting some raisins in there. And raisins are very good for feeding yeast, from what I've read. I don't know what's in the yeast nutrients and the yeast enhancing products. I'm sure it's all natural, I'm sure it's safe, but you know, they didn't have that back in biblical times or medieval times when they were making meads and beers and wines and all of that. So I'm just going to try to go as natural as I can. And I'm going to use the grapes. It's supposed to give a smoother taste to the mead. It's supposed to give kind of a wine component to the mead. Not something I'm specifically looking for, but it's not an undesired effect if it actually works out like that. Equipment. I have sterilized this 1-gallon glass jug. I've sterilized a cap for the jug as well. I don't have that here on the counter with me. And how I've done that is I've washed it in the dishwasher. I've put it through the heated dry and the sanitizing cycle. Some people use an iodine no-rinse mix that you can get at your local brew shop. And some people also use a mixture of chlorine, bleach, and water, and rinse that out very well. It's your personal preference. I went through the dishwasher method just because I'm confident with that. I do that with my canning jars, as well as another step on the canning jars I'm not going to use for here, but I'm confident that this is clean. The cap is clean. I've also sterilized a funnel. That's going to help me get the honey into the jar without spilling it too badly. So I've sterilized that funnel, and just to be on the safe side, I sterilized the cutting board and the knife that I'm going to be using to cut the limes with. I've sterilized a little container, a little leftover French onion dip container that I'm going to be blooming the yeast in before I pitch it into the container. A balloon, because I'm not going to use an airlock. I'm actually going to use a balloon. And a safety pin. I'm going to poke a tiny hole in the top of the balloon, enough to allow extra gas to escape, but not to allow anything to settle and infiltrate and actually contaminate the mix that I'm fermenting there. And then finally, labels. I've got 2 labels ready right here. They're the little peel-off Tupperware labels. First one says Chocolate Lime Mint Mead Stage 1, and it has today's date on it. The reason I'm doing that is if I get into production here and I kind of like how this is going, I'm going to have several different stages going at once. Some of them may look like the other. I want to put the date on there, I want to put the flavor on there, and I want to put what stage it's in, so I know what to do next without having to get out a notebook or something and try to figure what the heck I've been doing. So that's the equipment that I'm going to use. This will be part 1 of the video. I don't know how many parts it's going to be so far, but that's the equipment and the ingredients that I'm going to use for this batch of mead. So as I'm making it, I'm going to make that the second video and kind of do that in a little bit of a stage, and then take you down to where I'm going to store it and show you pictures of the second batch as well, so you can kind of keep track of that. And then following videos will be the actual siphoning into the second glass jug for a little bit of resting, and then into bottles a few weeks after that. So thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, I'm doing this for the first time. I have read a lot about it, but it's inexpensive. Go ahead and try it along with me if you want to. I'd be curious to see what your results are. All right, take care everyone, and we'll see you in the next clip.